Hello, and welcome to another Weekend League. This is the second Weekend League we've got for Footies now. Trying out a very similar team. The two new additions are that Kun card from the Bronze Footies upgrade. He doesn't last very long. He's got the right playstyles, but he's just... I guess this game really is about aura, huh? And when you upgrade some of the low-rated Evos, they're just not... I don't know, wrong body type or wrong... whatever it is, they just don't have it. Maybe they give the gold card something different. And we're trying out the Footies Okocha at the start here at left wing. He also doesn't last very long, also just wrong body type. He gets replaced by who's probably the player of the weekend, Oyarzabal. Trying out the postcom this weekend. This is something I used to do and some people liked it, and I've gone live comm since. Nobody really had any comments about that, so we're just trying this one out, seeing how it works. Beyond that, the first game's a Weekend League. Obviously not too much to talk about, so what I probably wanted to talk about more while we've just got the gameplay in the background was how we haven't had a patch for this game for, what is it, 6 months it feels like? Yeah, it's less than that, because we had the pressure adjustment that made everything worse and made first touches worse. But I don't quite remember when that was. It was probably like 4 months ago. Hello, cat. And just kind of how this is the game that EA seemed to want to create. This is pretty similar to... Nice little skill here from my culture, by the way. Pretty similar to last year's game, if I'm honest. Same 4-3-2-1 meta. It's a different aerial meta, but it's still an aerial meta. Lots of corner issues like we had last year. Definitely kind of curious to me that this seems to be the game that EA wants to make. Now, I understand some of the adjustments. Playstyles were never a thing I want. I want both playstyles and the explosive, controlled, lengthy accelerate types to be taken out of the game. Those are two of the biggest adjustments. I wish we could just go back to the older FIFAs on stuff like that. I think for EA on stuff like that, the issue is it doesn't feel enough like a modern game unless you have all of these bells and whistles that you get to show off. Like, you have to show that you're adding something. And FIFA is a game where, gameplay-wise, there's maybe not necessarily too much you can add. There are other things. I would argue if you want, like, skill-based heading to be a thing, then we add like timed jumps. You've got like a jump button where you have to jump at the right timing, and then perform your heading action after. Maybe more skilled crosses somehow. In the old FIFAs we used to have the right stick used for free kicks, and maybe you could add something like that for like crosses. You're preparing a cross, so you press square, but then you add the right stick in if you want to add additional curve or something like that. Anything to make it more skill based. But my main problem with crosses is A, they're too easy to get, and B, it's just a lower amount of inputs performed on a controller, so it's always going to be less skill based in that regard. And there's not a lot of tactical thought put into it, so there's just not a lot of skill. It's not a skill based thing, and there's not a lot of skill in defending them either. Sometimes they just happen to work and you really didn't do too much wrong. But the myriad of ways that we have to negate the crossing meta, and I'm talking about this kind of irregardless of the gameplay, I did not face too much crossing this weekend, actually. Don't know why, normally I do. I had Konate in the back, actually, the 97, what was it, Make Your Mark card, I think. He did have Aerial Plus, so maybe I had a... And he's 6'4", so maybe I had a better way of dealing with it this weekend. But despite not facing it too much this weekend, it's still kind of what I'm thinking about every time I hop onto the game. I'm like, this is going to happen eventually. I'm just going to face that one opponent. It's going to be through balls down the wing the whole game, and Sorloth, Weghorst, 2 or 3 of those types up top. It's not going to be fun. It's not fun to play against. I can't imagine it's too much fun to play as. Which means people are just doing it for rewards, which is especially silly this time of year when you've got supposedly the cards we've been working to get all year. Just completely endgame cards you should be able to have fun with, and we're still just going for rewards, which we all know you're not going to get anything anyway. I haven't gotten something I've used from rewards. I guess that's not true. I've gotten like Red Foden, but at the time I got him, he was like 300k, you know, not somebody I couldn't afford. Anyway, what I wanted to talk about was just the fact that we haven't had a patch and the myriad of ways they could negate what the crossing meta is and how they won't do any of it. So when we talk about headers, it's like you don't have to just make heading worse. So that would be making them less accurate, making them less powerful, making them more likely to go off target, whatever it is. So you can negate heading that way. You can also negate it by making crossing less effective. So with pass plus less effective, or normal crosses less effective, whatever it is. Again, you can add some skill-based stuff to it, like you have to time your crosses now. You know, you press square and then you press it again, or you're adding the right stick in to add curve or something. If you wanted to go that route, but even if not, then you've got ways to deal with this stuff. So those are two methods. We can go third and say goalies are more likely to save it. I would also add goalies more likely to catch it, because one of the issues we have with corners this year, it's not just that they're so easy to score from, it's that they're so easy to get. It wouldn't be a problem if you were facing like 2 corners a game, but there are so many matches I faced like 7 corners a match. There are games where I've faced more than that. And sometimes you even face like 3 corners back to back. Like you feel like you defend it well, they win the header, goes directly at the goalie, they save it out of bounds a couple times in a row, and then there we are. You can make corners harder to get. You can make goalkeepers more likely to catch the ball. That was what I was talking about. It's the long shots. You can just take a shot from anywhere, especially a power shot, and completely not deserve to get a corner. There's a nice little power shot here from Neymar. Well, the opponent's not playing. Might as well when you're faced with something like this. I think that's in off the post, yeah. Nice shot there, but goalkeepers catching the ball more. You can make it harder to get down the sideline. You can make the AI more likely to track that run. That was a silly header, but not who I was aiming for. AI more likely to track the run down the sideline. You can make the attacking AI less likely to make that run forward. Changing the depth meta, where if you've got a player making a run, the backline backs off more, or you just have the whole team drop, which kind of solves the 100 depth you can't advance issue if you just send somebody on a run and then it makes the team drop. That's the point of it. Of having like getting behind is it makes the team forced to back off, but it just doesn't do anything this year. And the attacking AI gets broken. Like they stop making their runs, or they just make their runs into the condensed space. You don't have space to pass it into them, and then you're just stuck. So just the amount of ways you could adjust what we've got going on, they won't do it. And you have to think at some point, the other thing is just the amount of players we've got. There's only one aerial plus, intercept plus, anticipate plus player in the game, and that's John Stone's green Euro card, whatever that is. And even he's got issues, like he's missing some of the other defensive playstyles, but there's only one with the 3 best defensive playstyles. So if you're going to release so many like power shot plus, rapid plus, aerial plus attackers, you have to give us more defenders with the right layout playstyles. You really just have to, right? You think at some point, if you want a counter to it, you've got to give us that. It seems like they don't want to. So you can give us more defenders to counter the attackers we're getting, or give us less attackers. Do we really need Weghorst and Sorloth and Drogba and... I can't think of any others right now, but there are just so many options you have to go with. And when you think of attackers with the, like, say for my dribbling playstyle, like you've only got 2 players that are Trickster plus, Press Proven plus in the game, and one was that Grealish showdown, and the other is only if you did the Neymar or like a Hansen Evo. So you can give us just, even if it's not negating the aerial meta, at least maybe you'll have more players doing something else if you give us better attackers to play in non-aerial ways. Despite the amount of attackers we have in the game, we're really missing dribbling and maybe some of the passing for, obviously, unlike cards, or on cards that aren't messy with, you know, the Tiki Taka plus his 99, like beyond that, maybe it just feels like we're missing some of the players. I think in the next video I'll continue a little bit of this. I just want to finish up with, you know, why they aren't adjusting this kind of thing, like why this is the game they seem to want to create. I think their argument is just it works for the casuals, and there's enough goal scoring going on where they just get to say, hey, if you don't like it, well, you get to score goals too. So at least, you know, for the first year we have some high scoring matches sometimes, not every match. We can absolutely have some slogs here, but oh yeah, this one, I forgot about this one. This was called as not a goal. A little bit surprised about that. Like, there's maybe one singular white blade of grass touching the ball. But anyway, next video, a little bit further, kind of continuing this conversation. Excuse me. But we'll try to talk a little bit more about the gameplay. And beyond that, thank you for watching. I'll catch you in the next one.